Want your own Gemara? Want your own Gemara? Yeah? Tea? Diet Coke?
You think everyone thinks there's no? Is there a lemon next to it? Huh?
Seriously. Even the rain. Although if you come in the rain, the way it works is that every other time you came, it's as if you came in the rain. Because you're showing whatever it is, daven, whatever you do in life. When you come when it's hard, what you're saying is, I always will come. So you get the schar all the easier times. Punkta was nice weather, it made it easier, but I would have came anyways. So it's the extra, get the schar for like all the, what? I hear. I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Welcome back, Shmuel David.
Yeah.
2 a.m. yesterday.
Yeah.
Moishi Burger.
2 a.m. Really?
Chicago was that.
Oh, Chicago. Oh, yeah. Done.
First logged in during, but then it wasn't the guy. Was it? The line.
I was watching live.
It was on,
It's the
yeah.
middle of like supper. I was watching.
Yeah.
The Kinyan Masechta is having an event Sunday night. I'm not sure when. In January, maybe. He just called me tonight. He left me a voicemail. He's like, "I want to just speak to you." So just throwing it out there, something to think about. We'll talk about it a different time. There's also Shabbos for the Rosh Chaburos. Being Shabbos, I don't know. All right. We are on the Chav Gimel Amid Aleph. We're going to chazer the Gemara quickly again from the third line, Mani Masisim. Who is the ton of our Mishnah that holds that if you make a sukkah on top of a ship, that it is kosher? Rabbi Akiva, Rabbi Akiva, the Tanya went in the Brisa. If somebody makes his sukkah on the top of a ship, Rabbi Gamil places Rabbi Akiva Machshir. Rabbi Gamil says it's no good. Rabbi Akiva says it is good. And the Brisa brings down the story. Rabbi Akiva's story with them too. They were coming on a boat. Rabbi Akiva stood up, and he made a sukkah on the top of the ship. The next day, the wind blew across and toppled it over, uprooted it. Rabbi Gamil said to him, Akiva, where's your sukkah now, huh? Where's your sukkah? Showing him that this is what I'm telling you why sukkah is not kosher on top of the ship. Amar Abaye said, let me explain to you the machlokes. The Kulei Alma, everyone agrees. If it can't withstand a typical wind on land, like Klumi, the sukkah is nothing. It's not a good sukkah according to everyone. If it can withstand not a normal wind on the land, crazy nor'easter, everybody agrees it's kosher. If you can handle that, that's for sure good. Ki pligi, where do they argue? Where it can withstand your typical wind on land. And it can't withstand, and I'm putting in a different girsa that we said before in the Geis Tzionim. It cannot withstand your typical wind at sea. That's the machlokes. Rabbi Gamil holds sukkah diras kevabin, and sukkah needs to be a fixed dira. Since it cannot withstand your typical wind at sea, like Klumi, it's nothing. You're on a ship. You have to have a sukkah that can handle a regular wind at sea. Since you can't, it's no good. Rabbi Kiva holds sukkah diras arabina. No, I just need a temporary dira. Since it could withstand a typical wind on land, even though we're at ship at sea, since it officially could withstand that, that's enough, and therefore the sukkah is ksheira, it's kosher. The Mishnah went on to say al-gabi gomel, or on top of a camel. Masisamani, who's the author of that? Rabbi Meir, it's Rameir. The Tanya that says in the Brisa, somebody is on top of an animal. Rabbi Meir machshir Rabbi Yehuda paisel. Rabbi Meir says it's kosher, and Rabbi Yehuda says it's possible. My time, Rabbi Yehuda, what's the reason for Rabbi Yehuda? The pasuk says, Chag sukkahs tasel chashavas yamim. You should make yourself the yom tov of sukkahs for 7 days. And they darshan sukkah ru'ya l'shiva, a sukkah that's fit for 7 days. Shema sukkah, that's called a sukkah. Sukkah she'en ru'ya l'shiva, a sukkah that's not fit for 7 days. Loisha shema sukkah, it's not a sukkah. And since you can't go on a sukkah that's on a gomel or on an animal, because you're not allowed to be mishtamish the animal al tilchas yom tiv, about the sukkah al tilchas sukkah is kosher. But din Yom Tov, you're not allowed to go on an animal, so you really can't use it the first day of Yom Tov. Therefore, the whole sukkah is pasul. Rabbi Meir, what does Rabbi Meir do with this? Hanami midiraisa mechsa chazia. This sukkah also minat Torah is fit. There's nothing wrong with the sukkah on the Torah level. V'rabbanu hu degazuba. Just the Rabbanu made gzeira about it, so therefore it does not ruin this drasha on the Torah's level. It is a perfect sukkah. Midrabbanu is a gzeira. It doesn't ruin the sukkah for all 7 days. Good.
Is there a case where you could go up and use the sign up dip or not? Like in Chol
On
Hamoed?
this thing you can use on Chol Hamoed, yeah.
So when the Mishnah
Chol Hamoed.
says Shera, it's talking about
Yeah.
Chol Hamoed.
Chol Hamoed, or if a guy actually went in on Yom Tov itself, he'd be over Nisa Drabanan, but he would be Yetzer the mitzvah of Sukkah. Okay, that's an interesting thing. He'd be over Nisa Drabanan, but he was Yetzer Sukkah. So we are up to, it's a new Gemara. If you didn't know anything till now, you're good to go. It's not a continuation. We're up to Asa Lebehema. Over there, there's no Tanu Rabbanon, but really there should be, because it's a brand new Brisa, and the Gais Vitzionim, they put in Tanu Rabbanon. So I wrote in my Gemara, Tanu Rabbanon, the Rabbanon taught in the Brisa, because this is a new Brisa, new case, not related to the last one. What happened? You're going to laugh at this case. You're going to think I'm writing a cartoon, or like, you're going to think this is funny. Asa Lebehema Deifin L'Sukkah. You made an animal as a wall for your sukkah. You got to look at the picture of this because you're not going to believe it until you see it. And this is on page Lamed Gimel. Okay, it almost seems like a comic you know with your kids. What's that comic strip? It's like the animals at the wall of the sukkah. What's that called again? Far Side. There. It's like a Far Side comic right here. The cow is the wall of the sukkah. Anything wrong with that? Just looking at that picture. Obviously, it's disturbing stam, but is anything wrong halachically with this sukkah?
Not part of the, it's not Keva.
It's not keva? Because it might move. Okay, I hear you. Anything wrong with the material of it? Like the fact that it's an animal?
It's not to do with carcass? It doesn't have to.
So the walls of a sukkah don't have that many halachas, besides for sturdiness and that stuff. In terms of material, they can be pretty much any material. Not like schach. Schach is very, very, very clear. A lot of
His
rules.
Stomach,
Not the
his
material.
stomach is too high off the ground of love.
That we're going to talk about that. Very good. Yeah, let's going to talk about it. So looking at that behema, that is going to be a machlokes tanoim. Could you use this as a wall for your sukkah? So jumping back to the Gemara now. Asa is a brisa. Asa lebehema doifin l'sukkah. You made an animal as a wall for a sukkah. It's a machlokes, like everything. Remeir paisel. Remeir says it is not a good wall, and therefore your sukkah is pasul. Reb Yehuda machsher, and Yehuda says no, it's kosher. Nothing wrong with this animal being a wall, and it's totally fine. And the Brisa elaborates. What's Pshan Remeir? Shahaya Rebbe Meir Eimer. Reb Meir used to say, Shahaya means, he used to always say this. We find in Pirkei Avos, Hu Haya Eimer. He used to always say, you should love your fellow Jew. I mean, this is something they used to always say, a common expression. Because Reb Meir said this phrase by a lot of different halachas across the Torah, and we'll see them. Shahaya Rebbe Meir Eimer. Rebbe Meir used to say this line. Kol davar sheyesh by ruach chayim. Kol davar, anything. Sheyesh by, that there is in it a ruach chayim, a spirit of life. It means it's alive. Anything that's alive, ein oisin oisai. You cannot make it into it a few things. Loi doifin l'sukkah. You cannot make something that's alive a wall for a sukkah. That's our case. He brings down more cases. V'loi lechi l'mavai. It can't be a side post to allow you to carry in an alley. And now just take a look. You always good to hold your I put a picture of this in the back also to hold my place. Look at the picture of this on page Lamed Gimel. Picture Mem Gimel. Right, you need to have a post on the side, and then picture Mem Gimel, they're using a cow as your lechi. Okay? So also you cannot use that. It's also pretty funny, no? You cannot use your cow as a lechi from Avi. And the third one example is, yeah, right. It's the best sim possible. V'loi pasin lebeirois. Anybody familiar with this line? If you ever learned Erevin, it's a big sugya in Erevin, second parak. It can't be pasin lebeirois. What do those words mean? Pasin means bores. Lebeirois means for a well, for wells. And I'll explain to you what it means in one more second. I just want to finish his last words. V'loi goylo lekever. and it can't be used for a cover for an aron, for a coffin. Even though it says kever, according to Rashi, and it's a big machlokes, but Rashi learned, and we're going to go like that a kever is an aron, is a coffin. So if you took a cow and put it on the top of a coffin to be its cover, it can't be considered a goylo. Goylo means a cover for a coffin.
But they never.
What does that have to do with anything? I'll tell you in a second. What?
They never buried in coffins. Really.
Sometimes they did.
Bubble. It's bubble.
Sometimes they did. Yeah, maybe in Bavel, Gemara over there. So it's Mishnayos though. It's a brayso. I know. So let's go through that one of these cases. Rameir is saying a rule. Anything that has life to it, and we'll talk about what the reason is. The Gemara is going to elaborate why. But let's just get the rule. Anything that is alive cannot be used for a couple of things. It can't be used as a wall for a sukkah. That's our case. It can't be used as a side post to allow you to carry in an alley, which we've spoken about already over here, so we're more familiar with it. The third one is v'lei pasan leberois. Take a look at this picture. It's a picture Mem Daled on page Lamed Gimel. This is a great picture. So you have this well in the middle of Rosh Hashanah. Okay, it's a well, Rosh Hashanah, but the well itself is a Rosh Hashanah. Why? Because it's 10 tefachim deep and it's 4 tefachim wide. So anything that's 10 tefachim high or low and 4 tefachim wide is its own Rishus, and it's a Rosh Hashanah. While the area around it is Rosh Hashanah. How am I going to get water out of that well on Shabbos or Yom Tov? Okay, maybe you don't. I don't know, maybe you can't. So what happened was, people who were Oilei Regel, people that used to go travel all over Eretz Yisrael to get to Yerushalayim, to the Beis HaMikdash, they had to travel for days and days and days. And animals need to drink a lot. People, you could bring drinks with you, but animals, they need to drink. Eliezer, right? Eliezer with the camels. Why doesn't he have water for them? It's a lot of water to carry. So if people are traveling, they might not want to go be Oilei Regel. It's a big tircha. I'm bringing my animals to carry things, and I have nothing for them to drink, because it might be Yom Tov, and I have no way for them to drink from the wells, because it's carrying. And I take water from the well into the Rosh Hashanah. That's a full-fledged Heitzah, from Rosh Hashanah to Rosh Hashanah. So what did they do? Chazal said, you know what? We'll give you an eitzah, a shtick, how to make a quick mechitzas to give you a full rishus. And if you look over here, see these 4 corners? What they did was, you make these like L-shaped mechitzas. One on all 4 corners. Okay? They're L-shaped mechitzas. And with that, even though this usually does not work, because the gaps are way too big, look at the gaps between each wall. But since these are just rules in Dirabanan, Midaraisa, these are good mechitzas. Just Dirabanan, we have much more protocol what makes something a good wall. So we override the Dirabanan and say these are good enough walls on the Deraisa level, and therefore you could carry water into the Rosh Hashanah for your animals to drink. Here, the guy was really stuck. He didn't have one last panel of wood. See, he used a cow. You see the cow top right of the picture?
It's the same cow.
He used the cow. It's the same cow, yeah. It's Betsy. This same cow is being used here as your one more board to allow you to carry from the well into the Rosh Hashanah. Says Rameir, no good. You can't do that. We'll soon see why. The last case, and here there's no picture because I guess it's too graphic. Could be Yitzi, you have a lot more other pictures that probably have it there. But if there's a coffin and you take an animal and cover the coffin with it, it doesn't give it the status of a coffin cover, which is called a goylo. What's so special about a coffin cover? Once something becomes a coffin cover, it has real dinei tumah. If that thing is in the oil, if you're in the same room as that cover, not the mace, that cover, you become tummy. And if you carry it, you become tummy. If you touch it, you become tummy, even if the mace is not touching it. Once it has the status of a cover, it's a full-fledged tumas mace. So an animal that's used to cover a coffin does not become a cover in the dinim of tumah b'tara. Just get up and go off, okay?
Taisus does not like coffin. He says that
Taisus is not like Rashi. It's a very famous in Ksubas. It's from Yeshivas. Taisus learns it's the cover of an actual grave, which fits better with the word kever, right? Goylo lekever. For us, it should be according to
So does Rashi.
Rashi says a koloimar. It means it's like not the pashup side of the word. So that's not our.
It also makes more sense when you see it.
What?
No one's carrying a 2,000-pound cow with
And is anyone making a sukkah with a cow? You know?
No, what I'm saying is not physically
No one's
possible.
having, no
Yeah.
one's using
It's not
that.
physically possible to actually
Right.
have it on a cow.
I hear that. So those are how many cases do we have? Don't make a doifin l'sukkah, 1, lachiu malvei 2, pasim bereis is 3, goyel l'kever is 4. But the Mishnah continues, it's Brisa. Mishum Rabbi Yossi HaGalili Amru, in the name of Rabbi Yossi HaGalili, they said, people said in his name, Af ein kaisvin alav gite nashim. You cannot write a get for women on a cow. Sounds strange. Divorcing her with the cow, but like handing her the cow over. But that's what that's the halacha. You're not allowed to write a get on a live cow. And we're going to talk about it more in the Gemaras later, that example. The one we're going to focus on the most is the sukkah one. We're just bringing them all in because it's one general rule. That is the brisa. So we have a brisa, could use an animal as well as a sukkah. We got, Rabbi Yehuda says it's good, Rameir says it's no good, anything that's alive can't be a wall. Now, Rabbi Yehuda seems to be right. Why not? Rameir is the one that needs question, what's the reason why it's no good? So it says the Gemara, my time of Rameir, what is Rameir's reason why you can't use an animal as a wall? We have a machlekes. Abaya Amar, Abaya says, Shema Tamus, maybe the animal will die. So what? Who cares if the
It's not
animal
gonna be
dies?
7 days.
What?
It's not
No,
gonna
even
be
the dead animal can be a wall.
full.
Falls, so what? Oh, but what's the problem if it falls?
It's not gonna have a measurement.
Oh, very good. You're not going to have 10 tefachim. We're assuming an average animal is probably around 10 tefachim tall. It's like this tall, I don't know, 10 tefachim. So if the animal dies, plop to the ground, you won't have the shear of the sukkah, and you're going to be left without a sukkah on Yom Tov. What?
Dead cow isn't 10 bucks.
What, a dead cow?
Yeah.
So, not necessarily. Now, happens to be, well, I want to take it back for a second, the pictures put a cow. But the Gemara said, the Bryce says a behemoth, and the behemoth is a domesticated. Now, a cow could be a behemoth as well, but there could be smaller cows, could be smaller behemoths, so it's not necessarily the cow of the picture, Betsy. Betsy Taco would win. Al Kapanim, we don't care if the animal dies, there's nothing wrong with being dead. What we care about is we just want the shear of 10 tvachim. If it dies, it falls to the floor. That's what Abai says the problem is. Rabbi Zera Amar, Rabbi Zera says, Shema Tivrach. The animal's going to run, right? How long does the animal stay in one spot? Maybe it's going to flee. So you're not going to have the wall of your sukkah. Now, who cares if it runs away? Okay, one of a sukkah. What's the isser? This part's a little bit strange. No, but it's a side thing. If you make a sukkah and a wind and something random happens, you think it's built in that's not going to last there?
That's what they say.
Will a cow ever stand in one place?
They don't seem to say that. It means it's ru'uya, just something might happen to make the cow run, but it is technically ru'uya. There's nothing, if that cow is there, the sukkah is kosher all 7 days. Our problem is not, even Rabbi Kiva Diras Arai, the sukkah could break from a wind, doesn't make a difference. It is roy. It's only if it's something you can't go in, also Isser, also Yom Tov, you can't go in, that's not roy. So over here, it is roy. So what's the problem? The problem is you might not have a kosher sukkah on Yom Tov. Okay, so now I want to have a kosher sukkah. I'll go to my friend's house. Chazal, Remeir, made exer. We don't want you to be without a sukkah on Yom Tov. So it's actually usher to use it. You can't even use it. We don't want you having a sukkah. You're going to be stuck without a sukkah. And therefore it's actually usher to use. Even though wall is there, it should be fine. But Remeir made exer. It's also either because it's going to die or it's going to run away. That's the machlekes. So the Gemara elaborates about this machlekes. Says the Gemara, Bipil kosher kuli amole pligi. Bipil is an elephant. Okay, an elephant kosher that's tied up. If this would be an elephant, which is big, kosher tied up, right? There's ropes there. Kuli amole pligi. The whole world, nobody would argue that it's 100% fine. Even Rameir would say it's okay. Why? Di'inami, because if also dinami mayas, the animal dies, yesh b'devlasa, you have in the dead body asara 10 tvachim. Even if the animal dies, an elephant is so big that it's always going to be 10 tvachim high, and it's tied up. So you don't have a bias problem of dying, because even if it dies, it's still 10 tvachim high. It's an elephant, and you don't have fleeing and running away because it's tied up. So if it's an elephant tied up, nobody would argue, and it's not even Rameir would say it's even the problem. So that's 100% good. Ki pligi, where do they argue? Bipil she'enoi kosher. An elephant that's not tied up. What's the machlekes? Laman Amar, which is Abaya. I wrote the word Abaya. Laman Amar, according to the one who says Abaya, Shematamus, that's going to die, perhaps. Loichashinin, we're not concerned it's going to die. Why? Because an elephant, anyways, is big enough. So what's the problem? You have an elephant, let it die. It's still 10 Tvachim high. You're going to have your wall. Laman Amar, but according to the other Man Amar, which is Reb Zera, Gzera Shemativrach, it's a Gzera might run away. Chayshinim, we're nervous. We're concerned. Even though it's an elephant, great, but it's not tied. So the elephant can run away. So we just found for you where Rameir says his opinion and where it's going to be machlekes Abai and Reb Zera. You have an elephant that's not tied up. According to Rameir, it's no good, but it depends according to which mandamar. According to Abaya, Shema Thomas, should be. That's not Rameir said it's a problem because it's an elephant. An elephant, anyways, has 10 tefachim. And according to Reb Zera, no, that is Rameir's problem because it's an elephant, but it's not tied up, so it could run away. Yeah, technically for the same thing. Yes, yeah.
Smaller behemoth that's not tied up, everyone's going to say it's not good.
Oh, so where's he get that in a second? One second. But what's the obvious question on this? For 1 second, just to say it again and bring it out. Abaya says an animal, an elephant not tied up. What's the problem? Even if it dies, it's still 10 tvachim. Yeah, but what else should you be nervous about Abaya? If Abaya holds it, he might die. What? Yeah. Abaya said he's concerned that it might even die. But at the very least, he should also hold the Reb Zera. He's just more extreme. So what does it help to have an elephant that's not tied up? And that, even if it dies, you still 10 tvachim. Yeah, but it's going to walk away. That's the Gemara's next kasha. We'll just end with this kasha. Frek the Gemara. Ulaman Damar, according to the one who says, which is Abaya, Gzeira Shemet Thomas, that maybe it's going to die. Necha Shemet Tivra. At least be concerned it might run away. So this whole machlekes doesn't make sense. And therefore we're going to have to change it up and say what Kivi was just saying 1 second ago. We're talking about a behemoth, not about an elephant. We'll stop here. Shkach. Maybe it's not.